Good afternoon, everybody. I'm grateful for those of you who are stopping in and checking out the chat. This is a new setup for me where I'm using restream.io to stream to YouTube, Twitch, and to a page on Facebook all at the same time. And it's also set up so that it is a much more interactive chat session than before, where I was just doing broadcasts. Now this is interactive chats, and I'm looking forward to checking out this new format and seeing what you think of it is probably the most important part. So what I'm doing here is going to be checking out the prices, the analysis of top traders and what they are saying about Bitcoin. And then I'll take a minute to go over the top movers on Poloniex, the top winners and the top losers that we're seeing here. So MadeSafe coin has some of the highest volume it's had in a long time, but unfortunately it's all selling volume. And we're seeing storage moving up a good percentage, but it's on very small volume. Many coins are actually doing a pretty strong move here, but most of them are on pretty small volume. Saya coin is one of the exceptions with some pretty good volume there. So we'll go back and we'll take a look at what's going on Poloniex. But most of all, I want to hear what your comments are on the price of Bitcoin. So if I take a look at Bitcoin prices, and I'll go full screen and bring the chat back here in a second, give me a shout out, say hello. We can see that Bitcoin prices, we know, dropped off pretty solidly here just a few days ago. And then for the last 36 hours or thereabouts, they've been floating sideways. Now, some of the analysts say that this is going to break out way higher from here, and others say that it's going to crash considerably lower. So what are your thoughts on the price of Bitcoin? Do you think it's going higher, or do you think it's going to crash lower? Here's a longer term view of the Bitcoin price charts. And for my own part, I was watching for Bitcoin prices to consolidate here and break out from this wedge right here. But prices have come down and spiked below this trend line. Now, I'm anticipating that we're not done this triangle yet. and prices are going to move around inside this triangle. Whereas other people are saying that Bitcoin prices are going to be dropping down to the $5,900 range as a first target. And I think that if Bitcoin prices break to the $5,900 level, they are not done going down. It will be easy for them to be heading down to the $3,000 level from where they are now. And that's where we'll see things gain support. And that's my prediction. If it goes down, it's going to go way down. And some people are saying that it's going to crash like crazy and sell all your stuff now, or you're going to really regret it. And certainly, if it goes down 50% from where it is now, that'll be a real bummer for everybody who's holding Bitcoin. So what I want to do is take a look at some of the top analysts here on TradingView. So these are some of the most popular ideas. And if you have a TradingView idea that you would like to have us go over and review, share it in the chat and I'll bring it up and we'll take a look at it. So some of the guys I quoted earlier was this one here. One day ago, this trader said that Bitcoin prices are going to be going to $9,900 to $10,000, and it's delayed due to the ETF postponement by the Security and Exchange Commission. This thin cloud of resistance in the gold is a golden window of opportunity for a breakout, if there is one. It should be from here because of this very thin cloud right there. A failed breakout. He says that this break to the downside has failed because it's hit this support and resistance level. And now it's creating a bullish wedge from October 5th until now. It's the best buying opportunity right now and your best opportunity to get on board. So what we're looking at here is the price of BitMEX and Bitfinex mixed together. So the red do you think that dropping to 5,900 is a problem? Or we become more concerned if prices close on a daily, weekly, or such below that price? I think the 5,900 is a problem simply because 5,900 is below where it's been before in the recent history. So going back to the 1 month view, it came down to 6,000 and didn't go down lower. Back here it went down to 6,000 and didn't go lower. So I'm going to move back further. 6,100 didn't go lower than the 5,900. Back even further now, so we're on to the August 13th low. It did touch 5,900. So there's the only time it's hit that 5,900. All right, correct myself if I'm wrong here. It did go down to 5,800 back on June 21st and 30th or thereabouts. So there is some support at the $5,900 level. And I was thinking that it had not hit the $5,900 level and that the 60 or 6,000 was the lowest it's been. But it did have a couple little touch points below that level. And one of the things that I've been watching is the 3 different lows on the cryptocurrency, where on August 13th we saw a low, September the 12th we saw a low, and now on October 11th we've seen a low. And many of the cryptocurrencies have resisted going lower. So Bitcoin came down to this level, cryptos sometimes also came down, and then they have not gone as low on this spike down to the downside. And so it shows to me that there is an overall accumulation of market capitalization across the board in the cryptos and Bitcoin put together. One thing that's interesting though is that as the prices spiked down, they immediately bounced up out of each of these times hitting these levels. And now it's spiked down and it's gone sideways. So one of the traders, let me clear off these things, has said that this right here is a bear pull And this is a bear flag. So normally a bear flag is pretty clear, a slight uptrend for a period of time after a sharp decline, and then the decline continues after that. And that could be right. And so that's what I'm doing here today, is going over a few different things to see what's going on and what the possibilities are, because I don't know. This is outside of my trading plan right now. I've got a pretty clear trading plan, but of course, not every trading plan works in every single market. There's a time where my trading plan is getting ready for a trade, and then there's a time for me to sit back from the market and wait again. So I'm trading a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation after a breakout of the downtrend line when my moving averages cross over. So I'm waiting for those three things to happen for the bullish market to come in. And with the opposite, as soon as the other trend line is broken, that is a signal to go short for me. And so I'm right on the edge now. I was right on the edge to go long, and now I'm right on the edge to go short. And at the same time, I am believing that the markets are manipulated. And they're manipulated in such a way that the bears and the bulls are both getting raked over the coals, and the automated trading bots are making a killing off of both sides. So as the bulls get all excited and they put their trading positions on, many of the inexperienced traders have their stop losses too close to the market, and the automated trading bots can see all of that across all the markets all at once. And so then they crash the prices down. They have their buy orders already placed where they know the market is going to go down to. They crash it down, they soak up all of those sales, and they're long now. Then they wait for all of the bears to get excited, and they're starting to put their short positions on. Many of them are inexperienced, and they put their stop losses too close to the market, and they're using highly leveraged trades, hoping to make a killing as prices drop. And then the bots do the opposite, where they've got their sell orders already in place, and then they start hammering the market to the upside, and they drive it up. So they've already bought all their stuff here, and they're getting ready to sell and take their profits. They've already sold here, they took their profits here. Now they're going to do the opposite the other way. And they rake millions of dollars out of the market, out of these small short ranges. So my trading system tries to filter out those short-term ranges and the power of the price manipulation. And that's why I use the three trading signals combined together. They're simple trading signals. They're looking for trend changes, and putting them together helps me prevent myself from jumping onto the exciting moves that look like they're exciting, but they are not. They are fake out breakouts, or they are bot manipulation. So putting those three trading signals together hopefully helps to filter out the bad trades. For my own part, I'm expecting that this is going to do the Bart Simpson pattern. So everybody was long here. Then they all got raked over the coals, and many people got their liquidation calls. And now everybody's all piling up into the short side, and the opposite is going to happen, where the prices will just go almost straight back up. They call it a Bart Simpson formation because this looks like Bart Simpson's hairdo, where he's got the straight side, he's got the pokey top, and then he's got the straight side on the other side. And it works upside down as well as right side up. And we've seen that over and over and over again over the last couple months in Bitcoin prices. And I believe that's what's going to be happening. And I'm expecting that. Now let me go over to Twitch. And we've got no one watching on Twitch, YouTube, So I'm watching on the YouTube live. And now I'm going to go over some of the next ideas here. So here's Bitcoin dollar. What this guy's saying, that there's a fractional movement comparison of two different time frames where you see this previous movement here where prices made this virtually the same pattern that he's pointing out here. Prices came back, they turned around, and they exploded to the upside. And so he's pointing out that we've got this head and shoulders formation. Here we had the head and shoulders formation. This was in July. Prices came up, they came back, they made a consolidation wedge, dropped down, then they made an uptrending wedge. Same pattern is happening here now. We saw it in April. We saw it through all the way through April here. And he's calling this a bear trap right now. So we'll see how this one turns out. And he says, coincidence? I don't think so. And I hope it's not a coincidence. I'm hoping that this is what happens, because if Bitcoin does rally like this, like it did in April, then all of the cryptocurrencies are also going to rally, because they are all at historical lows right now. And let me go to the full screen non-chat, since the chat is slow right now. If you guys have any comments, you want to say hello, that would be awesome. If you have any other trading view recommendations for me to take a look at, I'd be happy to, because I want to learn more about different ways of trading. I've got my trading system, but my trading system is only for a specific type of market. It doesn't work in choppy markets, and it doesn't work as well in downtrending markets. So I'm really looking for that bottom formation turnaround for my system to really pick up and to be rocking and rolling again, and make the kind of profits I did from March to July of 2017 and December and January of 2018. Fantastic profits. And that's what I'm lining up for now and watching closely on. So this is the trading pattern, of course, that I favor more, because it would lead my trading system and all of my trades to be doing much better. So this is the second trading idea that says prices are going to go up. Let's go back, and I'm going to find the trading opinion that said everything is going to be going down. So we're looking at the popular today ideas in Bitcoin trading, and Tom Pro Trader says it's a crunch time, and he's giving a prediction either way, and there's the support zone, and he's giving a support zone between now and $5,900. Where's the guy who said, here it is? Why is right the time to buy and hold Bitcoins? Here it is. Game over for the bulls. I want to read this guy's thing. And I want to get your comments on some of these technical indicators, because I don't use them and I'm just learning them. So the red cloud appeared and Bitcoin crashed hard here in 2014 when that cloud appeared, and Bitcoin went down considerably. And then it rebuilt as this red cloud dissipated. As it turned to a green cloud, then we had the major uptrend. Now we've had the green cloud dissipate and the red cloud turn in, and he's anticipating that we're going to see prices head down to $2,000 again. And when you look at the price in this long-term chart like this, that's completely plausible. That's completely within that 50% retracement from the low there in 2015 to the high now in 2018. That wouldn't be unexpected at all, to just in looking at the size of the price chart there. Hello, Con. Fuel BTC 2-month bottom. I'm hoping it's a 2-month bottom in Bitcoin, and this is a consolidation along the much longer uptrend as Bitcoin is heading to, I don't know, $80,000. But I also want to learn from other people and get some other opinions aside from my own so that I have a better perspective on what's going on here. What else does he say? Sell everything, you're going to regret it. Bitcoin is incredibly bearish, looking like shit right now. It's under extreme pressure from the bears. So stay safe, bulls. If I was a bull, I'd be shitting my pants right now. And here's another, well, he's done a ripple analysis. Overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Yes, indeed. Based off the previous bear market, the thickest part of the cloud actually represents the best time to buy. Why is that not the case this time? So the thickest part of the cloud is the best time to buy, but thickest compared to what? Is it going to get thicker after this as prices go down more? Because as the prices started going down, the cloud was pretty thick right in here, and then it got thicker. It narrowed a bit, and then it got thicker again, but prices were going up. So I want to study these things and learn more. No, I meant fuel is Ether Party. Fuel BTC is the pair, for example, on Binance. Oh, I see. All right, I also have this, the recent big trades going on right now on BitMEX and the other exchanges. So I'll stop looking at these Bitcoin prices and I'll come back to these analysis in a second. And I'll go over and I'll take a look at Binance and look at fuel. Three-month view of fuel. For all the cryptos, I'm looking at much the same pattern. So if I make this so we can see it, we have the August 13th low, we have the September the 12th low, and then we have the October 11th. And this didn't make a new low, and that's very bullish. So for my own trading plan, this made a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It broke the downtrend line and already gave a buy signal. So the downtrend line is here. You could stretch the downtrend line out to here, no, maybe. But it broke the downtrend line in either case. If I look into the 1 month view so we can see this more clearly, there is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation right there. So the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, even though it's a very short time frame, it occurred off the September the 12th lows, and the 4-hour bar moving averages crossed over, which is my warning signal. That's my wake-up signal when the 4-hour bar moving averages cross over. Then when the 12-hour bar moving averages cross over, that's my actual signal to take action. So it still would have been a precarious spot to be purchasing because I would have been buying right in here, and it's pretty much ranged sideways since then, but it hasn't given me a get out order yet. So in order to trade these trend reversals more safely, I also recommend that you use a 3-2-1 position sizing rule. So I would put on 3 parts of my position now, and I would be holding on to the other 3 parts of my position, my whole position, until the market's proven me correct. It's come back and made a consolidation, and then it starts to show power again. And that's when I would add on another 2 parts of my trade. So I don't put on my full position right off the beginning here. And the reason for that is I want to make sure that my losers are smaller and my winners are bigger. So at the beginning of a trade like this, it's like taking off in an airplane. You want to be really, really careful at the very beginning of that flight. Is the most dangerous part because you're closest to the ground and there's no time to react. So it's the same thing with trading on these reversals. I want to be sure that I'm not being caught in a fake out breakout. So it may be that an add-on position would occur now when it breaks above these levels to confirm the larger 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and breakout. And the thing is, we'll know when it's happening because it's going to happen across all of the coins at the same time. All of them. We may get a pump in some of them and then it'll dump. That'll be independent of the whole group. And that's sort of like a wave coming in on the beach. But when the trend actually starts, all of the currencies are going to go at the same time. So if you have any other markets you want me to take a look at, I will, but I'll go back to the looking at some more ideas on Bitcoin, because there are really big trades going on right now where we can see a $1 million short trade here, $223,000 long trades, $600,000 short trade, $100,000 short trade, $123,000 long trade. These are big trades going on, both to the short and to the long side. So we go back to BitMEX and take a look at Bitcoin. Move right into the 5-minute bars. Clear my indicators out of there. It's really tough to say which way it's going to go, because we have lower highs turning up here now, and we have higher lows building up as well. So which way it's going to end up going is a guess right now, unless you've got some indicators that are really starting to show some divergences here. And this is what I'm looking for, is some of the trading analysis of people who are putting in these indicators that I can go back and check on later. Now, DJ Thistle, I've been following him for a long time, and he's anticipating Litecoin is going to go up, I do believe. And it'll be interesting to see what goes on in Litecoin over time, because there's another halvening of the coin looking a lot like last time. Be careful out there. Pretty strong move, strong move, strong move, strong move. So this is his anticipation. 2018, 64 bars, 66 bars, 76 bars. Very interesting to check this out, and I'll have to mark it so that I can come back and check it again later. So if any of you have a TradingView favorite that you'd like to recommend we take a look at, I'd be happy to. So this trading chart is showing the psychology of a market cycle, and he's overlaying where complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, depression comes in, hope, and then it takes off from there. Doesn't really grab me quite. He's showing some other areas in the uptrend where this happened back from 2015, and he must be using a logarithmical chart. I'm going to pause myself here while that fire truck goes by. All right, so when I picked this apartment, I wasn't paying attention to the road traffic, and there are fire trucks going by here day and night. So future retracements of Bitcoin. Let's take a look at this one. Bitcoin future retracement levels. So he's also calling for right at the $6,000 level, or just near the $5,900 level, and further yet. So he's going 57. Yeah, 54 to 57 is the buy range in his trading analysis, just by the way this is shaping up right now. And he's also looking at what must be Elliott wave hypothesis here. Dropped nearly 10% from the previous ideas level, while altcoins deflated 3 times more during continual shakeoffs. But he says we have more to go. And that was 22 hours ago. And certainly, if we take a look at what's going on with Poloniex, some of them are going up, but many of them are hitting the skids big time with some big sales. We'll come back and take a look at these in a bit. So Bitcoin should revisit 62 after the failed attempt to breach 6,500. Most likely further lows. Don't rush with a rebuy. If you had rebought 8 days ago, you would have lost 10% of your portfolio already. My personal take is you should not bait stories about bullishness. Since 3 attempts, Bitcoin wasn't able to breach the 6,800 and has declined more. And so he's looking at Elliott waves here, and while it works well in hindsight, I don't ascribe to it. I look for the part of the Elliott wave hypothesis, which is just that 1, 2, 3 bottom. And if you're looking at an Elliott wave, that 1, 2, 3 bottom and the 1, 2, 3 top is always part of the Elliott wave, but it's just part of it. Ripple, looking for a hard break up from here. So here's another one that's using the red and green cloud. And we'll have to watch to see what his analysis turns out to be afterwards. Okay, now we have a turnaround where we're having millions of dollars of buy signals in Bitcoin taking off. As the prices are coming down below these lows, we're seeing some pretty big sell-offs and volume picking up there as well. So that's all looking pretty bearish. And yet we can see these big buys coming in, $1 million, $600,000, 100,000, another 100,000. All right, so now I'm going to go over to Poloniex and I'm going to take a look at what's going on there. Here are the 4 big ones. So we've got Bitcoin, and we're looking at it since August 13th, where we see the lows here. It did hit the $5,900 level. It made a nice run up and then crashed down hard. It's made a bit of a wedging triangle here and retraced back, but it hasn't broken below these levels yet. Ethereum, on the other hand, it made a low here on the 13th of August, but it made a lower low on the 12th of September, and it hasn't broken lower than the 12th of September now on the October 11th low. So when we look at Ripple, it had a low on August 13th, it had a low on September the 12th, and then it's really taken off, and its pullback has not been nearly as low as the September the 12th low. And when we see this through a lot of the different cryptos, to me this is showing an overall buildup in the market cap inside all the cryptos, which occurred from January to February and March of 2017. And it took a long time for that to build up before it really started to take off. But this is the building up we saw back then too. So Litecoin, we saw the low here on August 13th at just a candle wick low. And then it really plummeted more on the 12th of September, much like Ethereum did. So it was low, then it went lower, and now it's got a higher low on October the 12th when we saw Bitcoin come down. So Bitcoin came pretty similar levels all three times, and each of the cryptos are doing something different now. But overall, let's go take a look at what were the biggest movers to the top side here on Poloniex earlier today, where we saw Navcoin doing a rally, we see StorageCoin doing a rally. We were seeing library credits did a little pump and it's faded right back. And we're seeing Civic Coin showing some strength and it's pulled back. When I look at these coins, I'm also looking at the August 13th, September the 12th, and October the 11th. This is a higher low. Again, here we have a low, a lower low, and then a higher low in StorageCoin. Civic Coin, we have two lows and a higher low. But in library credits, this one's failing, where we see the low in August, we see the a higher low in September, and then it's faded right off here to this October the 11th crash. So those were some of the better performing coins in the 24-hour view on Poloniex. And I like to watch this, the markets on Poloniex to see what are the top gainers and the top losers for the 24 hours and to take a look at them. So if we go back to the multi-charts and we're looking at the top losers for the last 24 hours, it was MadeSafe Coin, OX or ZRX, Omni, and Decentraland, which is pretty new on Poloniex, so I brought up the Binance charts here. But overall, we're looking at the August 13th low, the September the 12th low, and then for MadeSafe Coin, it's made a newer low on October 11th. Omni is much the same, where it made a low in August, a low in September, and a much lower low here in October. So those kind of indicators show me that the altcoins are indeed going to go down much more. Whereas we see other ones that show a low here in August, a deeper low in September, and now a higher low in October. Here again, Decentraland, even though it doesn't have that much history on Poloniex yet, it was a low in August, a deeper low in September, and a higher low in October. So we're really seeing a divergence where some of them are showing great weakness and other ones are showing relative strength yet. So it's not a clear indicator. We go back and take a look at Bitcoin, zoom into the one-day view so that we're looking at the 5-minute charts, and it's still quite an exhaustive down move here. Let's go back and see what trades have been going on. Still quite a bit of buying going on, and not very well. $200,000 is a large short position, but not as large as some of the other ones have been. So now I'll go into my report on the Poloniex, and this is the just in time for my risk disclaimer, which should have come out earlier. I'm not a trading advisor and these are not trading recommendations. This is my own trading journal as I'm studying the markets and learning for myself, sharing what I learn, and then doing these live chats so that I have other people who can give me feedback and I can learn from you as well. So many times the comments under the videos or the chat alongside the video is more important than the content of the video itself, because we get some really great traders coming on here and giving us their input. So what we're looking at here is the price prediction screenshot spreadsheet that I've been doing. So here is a link to it, so you can go and join us there. Click on that link and you'll go over to the Google Doc. And what I've done is pulled together screenshots of what I thought was going on way back in September the 9th. Just after the August 13th low and prices rebounded a little bit, it was looking like a bottom formation was forming. And then we had the September, right after I did these screenshots, we had September 11th and 12th, where many of the coins failed the bottom formations. They went lower than the August 13th low. But right away, it's right after that, then everything started to consolidate and we started to see some positive divergences from the cryptos showing a more positive move relative to Bitcoin. Then on September the 24th, I started to mark out which of the markets were showing a buy signal according to the simple trading plan, and which of them were coming close to that buy signal, which of them were failing, and I'll mute myself as the next fire truck goes by. Alrighty. So then I started this study, and what I'm doing is trying to analyze when the bull market is actually going to start. And so by doing this analysis every day or every couple days and going through to mark out where the markets are, and then adding up how many are buys, how many are alerts, how many are neutral, which are almost failing, which have failed, and that means they've gone lower than the August 13th or September the 12th low. And they're not making a bottom formation, they're making new lows. That's a fail. I've been adding those up and studying this over and over day by day, and I make it into a chart so that we can see how bearish the market is. The red line means that there are near fails or fails. The green line is for those that are buy signals or alerts to that it could be a buy. And then the blue line is those that are neutral. They're not breaking down to new lows, but they're not breaking higher yet to be confirming a buy signal. So as this red line gets higher, that shows that the bull market is not near. As the green line starts to take over, that'll show when the bull market is actually taking off and taking over. So I'll continue to do these analyses, and I invite you to tune in and watch them. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if this is new to you, and we will together we'll go over this and be watching to see when the bull market is actually coming in. So all these numbers here actually don't mean anything. That's just me counting up how many greens and reds and all that so that I can add it up properly. So I can delete those values because I did add it up properly at the bottom here, so that there are 56 markets in total that we're monitoring. So this is an average of all those 56 markets. So now we're looking at BitMEX and Bitfinex at the same time. So BitMEX is the red and green candles, and Bitfinex is the blue area chart below that. And it's interesting to watch the divergence between which market is moving first and which is moving second. Normally when I'm looking at the Poloniex charts, say BitShares, and I'm looking at the 3-month view, I'm going to take a look at how the cryptocurrency is moving in relation to Bitcoin. And so we're seeing that they top out at much the same time. Back in May, back in 2018, in January, it topped out at the same time. So as Bitcoin is surging, so is BitShares. Sometimes more relative to Bitcoin than Bitcoin is moving. And now I'm watching for all of these to be making a bottom formation. So as I've been saying, we've got the August 13th low, we've got the September the 12th low, and now we have the October 11th low. And by gauging where these are relative to each other, it gives me a perspective of whether or not this market is ready to turn around. And now we have a larger 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and this will be easy to pick off once it breaks above these levels. It's going to be obvious. And it'll be obvious because we'll have gathered all of the data in this spreadsheet to show all of these different markets turning green at the same time. Because when the tide comes in, the tide lifts all boats, and all the cryptos will be lifted by it. One of the reasons I was bullish on Bitcoin is that we are seeing such great potential bottom formations in so many of the altcoins. And then we've seen many of them turn to red just recently, where they are fading back beyond and below the September the 12th and August 13th lows. And so that gives me the idea to be really studying what other people are saying about Bitcoin and how far down it can go, and what are they using for indicators that are giving them the knowledge or the insight that Bitcoin is going to be dropping. Now we can see over here some millions and millions of dollars coming into the buy signals, another 1.6 million going to the short side. So there's $4.5 million to the long side at 61.98, 61.97, and at 61.93 we see $1 million to the short side. Here's another $1 million to the short side. So I'm not the only one that is not clear as to which way Bitcoin is going to be going. Some of these big traders with huge pockets are disagreeing with each other in massive trade. So when the market does break one way or the other, it is going to be phenomenal. It's going to really move hard. One of the reasons I'm doing this study. Hey, Johnny Bull, thanks for saying hello. I agree why you think BTC has bottomed because of where the alts are. Yeah, and it's just overall, it's showing a basic increase in coin market cap. So if we go to coin market cap, there's got to be somewhere here that there is the complete coin market cap overall average. And I know that in the last 7 days, there's been billions of dollars lost, but that is a short-term view of things. Instead of looking at the billions that are lost just in the last couple days, I want to see how the coin market cap rates according to the last 3 months, where we had the low here, August 13th. What happened to the coin market cap of the entire market then, compared to September 12th, compared to now? Because those numbers are going to be the key ones that are going to show, is the tide creeping in, or is this just another spike down, a wave, the wave retracting before it goes forward again? It's the change of the tide that's the big thing, and it's the reason that I'm doing this spreadsheet in such a way. Are you seeing this pipe from the triangle breakdown on the hourly BTC USD? So in BitMEX, it gave a good spike down here at 4:30 in the morning, but not on Bitfinex. Prices rallied up. Now we see another little spike down, and millions of dollars trading coming in, millions to the short, another almost million to the short side. Crazy. And Johnny, you've asked, click on coin market cap number at the top. Coin market cap number at the top. I see. Very good. So now if we do the 3-month view, there's our August 14th was 1.93, September the 12th, 1.86. Right about now, it's higher by $10 million. Here we're at 1.91, 1.93. Now we're at 200, 202. So it's $10 million higher, even though we've seen 20 billion, or billions rather than millions. This shows me the coin market cap is creeping up. It's still not a big enough number to really give it away yet. So total market cap excluding Bitcoin in the 3 months, much the same. We see the low here, we see a lower low, and then now we're at 92, 93, and we were at 87 here. So overall, there's a little bit more market cap in the markets. It's all going to come down to finding support and breaking off that $200 billion market cap. And one thing that I point out many times is that we really have not seen a bull market in cryptocurrencies yet. People say, what do you mean? What about this run up here from March to May or July of 2017? That was just a pump. That was just a wake-up call for the rest of the world. When we're thinking about a bull trend, we have to look at something like the S&P 500. So if we go to the indices, and we look at the S&P 500, and we zoom back on this is a bull trend. So from 2016, it hit a bottom. There's our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It took off, broke out of a bigger 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and retested the number 2 point. And then the trend began. And this is a real trend. And it went on from 2016 through 2017 through 2018. It made a consolidation and now the blow off top. Or is it another consolidation before we get more of a blow off top? This is the real trend. Something that's gone on this long. Not something that just took a couple months and then down and a couple months and then down. This is all building up. This is an enormous accumulation phase. And for those who are in the right place at the right time, all of the altcoins are going to go into a 12 to 18 month bull market. And that bull market is going to be marked. It's going to be volatile. It's going to be marked by big moves like this where we see it run up and pull way back, and run way up and pull way back. And yet over the 18 months, it's going to keep going and going and going and going. And I'm certain that people will be shocked at how far it goes. And that's what I'm betting for, and that's what I'm studying for, and that's what I'm doing all these analyses so that I can be ready for that. And then Johnny, you would ask me to look at KRW chart. So let's find KRW. Where is that traded? Karma, that's a good name for a coin. Markets. Open Ledger, IDAX. $217,000 24-hour volume on IDAX. It's a fair bit of volume. And I'm not familiar with IDAX. And it seems that by typing in the search here on $8 million short position, 6 million, another 6 minutes ago, okay, $1 million, another $1 million, $150,000 positions here that I was kind of freaking out there about. So when I do the search here on Coinigy and I go to Bitcoin to the Korean won, okay. When I do KRW and look for it here on Coinigy, there's none of the exchanges that they track are listed. And Bitcoin to the Korean won, that's outside of my knowledge for sure. Let's look at the chart. Go back to KRW, KRM. This is the only chart I have for right now. We'll zoom into the 3-month view. And for my own part, it's not giving me enough of the bottom formation that I like to look for. There's a specific 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's a failed retest of a recent low. So once we have a downtrend and we come down to the lowest prices, I like to see prices come up, come back down, but don't go lower. And then when they break above the recent high, that's the entry signal. So I'm usually adding in the moving average over the 60 and 20 period exponential moving averages, helping me filter out the pump and dumps, the fake out breakouts. So I can't really comment on this because it's tied to the Korean won, and I'm certain that that has all sorts of political connections to it more than the technical stuff. The technical stuff should reveal things in the chart even before you get the political news, because the big guys who are close enough to what the news is going to be, they are connected. They know what's going on and they'll put their money into places before the news comes out to the world. Usually the price moves and then the journalists are running to find out what the Korean won chart. So I'm looking at the wrong one entirely. Then I can probably find it here. And I can go to Forex. I have no idea where to find the Korean won / Bitcoin prices. There we go. Corbit, Bithumb, and Xcoin. Well, it looks very similar to the US dollar, except that we see lower lows here in July. That's very similar to the US dollar. And so if I go into a 1 week view, so now we're looking at the long term from 2015 to now. All of them, it looks like the 50% retracement level is still way down here. There's still room for all this market to fail down and make a new bottom at this level. With the lower highs all the way along and this flat bottom, if it breaks, it's going to plummet. If it surges, it's going to go like crazy, and it'll be the same for all these. It looks very much the same as Bitcoin US dollar. Much the same timing. 30-minute view. Ooh, even worse actually, because it's really going down and hitting a flat bottom. That looks worse actually. To look at that and compare that to the Bitcoin US dollar is actually a worse comparison. Now if I go back to BitMEX and zoom into the 1 day, so we're seeing the 5-minute bars, the Korean currency was showing more weakness in this little bit of a trend here this last couple days than Bitcoin and US dollar prices have. So if that is a premonition, then I would say this is looking pretty bearish, and I hate to say that because of course I want Bitcoin to go up. Oh, I'm sorry, Bithumb. So I'll go back to the multi-crypto chart, and I'm going to go to BTC KRW on Bithumb. And there is some big candles of volume here. But overall, it's not large enough to convince me. Oops, wrong one. 1 day. Now there's some interesting volume where volume was going down, then all of a sudden in September it really exploded up, and then we have some big red candles of volume. So again, that's bearish. That's I don't like it at all. And I wonder why the volume exploded up like this. Was there a change in government policy? Something happened on a specific day that changed the volume dramatically. Hello, Mark de Messil. I'm glad to see you here. I watch your videos and always am interested in your opinion. What I was doing for the 5 top Bitcoin analysts, I'll go back to the main scene so we can see the chat here. What I was doing for the 5 top Bitcoin analysts was to look for the popular trading ideas on TradingView. And I was looking for ones that are giving indicators that I might learn something from. And I was looking for opposing views. So I was looking for people who are saying strong upside break this weekend, warning bears, and taking a look at his chart and seeing what his commentary was and why does he say that it's probably going to go higher. And he's talking about this thin cloud of golden window opportunity. So this indicator that he's using shows a thick cloud at this time as the failed breakout on July 25th and a very thin cloud here. So now I have to go and figure out what this indicator is and what the clouds are and what they mean, and to study this stuff over time. And then I was looking at people who are saying the opposite. So for example, here's a good one that was, let me change scenes here. This guy is pulling up a couple examples from back here in April, where we had a head and shoulder, upside down head and shoulders formation. Then we saw the increasing triangle wedge, another wedge, and then a bull trap, a bear trap rather, and prices really took off from there. And now we're in a similar situation where we see in July, August, and September a very similar looking chart pattern building up. And he's expecting that it's going to be blasting up from here and really taking off, which would be fantastic for everybody holding Bitcoin, except for those people who are trading short. And for my own view, I don't have a trading signal in it right now. It was getting close because I have a simple trading plan. I look for downtrending markets, whether gold and silver, or if it's Bitcoin, or if it's natural gas, or whatever. I'm looking for those ones that are in a downtrend, that they're at historical lows, and then I look for a specific trading pattern, which is the end of the Elliott wave principle. And basically it's the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So the number 1 point is the lowest price we've seen in recent history. Then the number 2 point is where prices went up to. Prices came back down and tried to break the number 1 point but failed. So here we have a double 3 now. So we've got a number 1 point here, number 2 point here, and both of these are equal enough to call them a double number 3. So then I have to wait for prices to break above this trend line, break out of the number 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and my moving averages have to cross over. And so I was kept out of this trade all this time, waiting for my moving averages to cross over and waiting for the trend line to break and the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation to break out. So we've got a smaller little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here, and then that failed, and we have a new double 1 on this time frame, 2 of them on the number 1 point. And now I couldn't take a trade until it broke above these levels and my moving averages crossed over. So I'm sitting on my hands now waiting, and I want to learn from other traders, because if it's going to crash down, I want to get some idea about that so that I can be taking a short position and making money. Because my main trading system doesn't make money all the time. It's only under specific market conditions. And that's why I had this idea to go through and look at a number of the top most popular, which is not actually saying top, but the most popular trading ideas on TradingView. And why is this not closing for me? Because I right clicked. Another one that I found really interesting was game over for the bulls, which I was very close to expecting a breakout to the high side before this recent drawdown. So this guy has a really good argument here where he's talking about where the red cloud appeared in 2014, we had a very sharp crash. And I remember all the way through 2015 watching this. I was a rampant bull the whole time, and it was very trying on the patience through all of June, through March, April, May, June, July, August, September. And it wasn't until September 24th where the markets were making another 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout. It was crossing my moving average, breaking the downtrend line, where I bought into 2.5 Bitcoin there, each of them at $700, no, $250 each for the Bitcoin at that time. So it made some fantastic profits, but it took a lot of patience to wait for that formation to actually show itself up. And now he's pointing out this big red cloud again, and it could be that Bitcoin retraces. And when I look at this guy's price chart, it makes it look pretty credible that Bitcoin would go to the 50% level using Fibonacci from the low in September of 2015 to the high in January of 2018. So there's a pretty good bull trend actually. But the cryptos have not seen a similar length of time in a bull market. They've seen some pumps during this time, but not a bull market. And I have another spreadsheet that shows the altcoin and Bitcoin price changes. And I'll pull up that screenshot. So this screenshot shows where the altcoin bull market was compared to Bitcoin. So from March to July of 2017, this was the altcoin bull market, the big one. And then we went down, 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 down until about December the 14th of 2017. And then from that point on till the middle of January, all the altcoins ripped. They took right off. Now the coin market cap of all these altcoins had been going up through this time, though their price versus Bitcoin had been going down. Then we saw this bull market in the altcoins. We saw a bear market as altcoins were following along with Bitcoin, going down along with Bitcoin. A little bit of a bull market here in March, April, May of 2018. And then all the way through this period, the altcoins have been in a big bear market. And they are down to historical lows now, way back to where they were in some of them from to the lows of March of 2017. And since they are all at these lows and Bitcoin's making this consolidation, I was anticipating that we would see some prices really taking off from here. And that's where my studies have left me. The only way, truth and life, God's Bible, oh my goodness, I have to learn how to moderate. But Michael, I'll have to moderate your stuff. Thank you, Mark. It is a disciplined approach, but it is enormously patience testing until things are going right. It takes a lot of work while markets are not showing what I want, and I have to keep studying and watching and pulling the data together so that I am monitoring exactly when that bull market turnaround is, so that I'm sitting on the sidelines and not doing anything until it's the right time, because I've lost money on those fake out breakouts. Get all excited like everybody, put your money in, and then it retraces back. And many of these coins, they make 50% moves in no time. So you can lose an enormous quantity of your cash stack just by normal moves in the cryptos. So I'm researching And if you have any of favorite traders who you have on what do you call trading view, put a link into the chat and I'll check out their stuff. If you have a chart there you would like to share, I'd be happy to take a look at it. Here's one with a parabolic fractal. We are here or here. In both of these, it's expecting prices to be coming down further than if we are in these kind of positions. And he's done a lot of work about putting this regular and hidden, regular, hidden. I don't know what that means at all. But this is from the top when Bitcoin went up to $1,000 and then it worked its way back down. I think the markets are quite a bit different now. We have many, many more exchanges. We have billions and billions of more dollars in there. And we have a lot more artificial intelligence, automated trading bots that are really wreaking havoc with the price of Bitcoin. So I don't think that it really matches up so well to what happened in the past. But I do agree that we really could be at a point where the prices are going to go down further to the 50% retracement level. And I was also looking at DJ Thistle's ideas for the Litecoin halvening. My own thinking is that Litecoin is going to be hitting $1,000 within the next year. So here's another one that has a longer term view of Bitcoin, that it's going to be coming down to the almost $4,000 level. Then it'll hit up to the $10,000 level again before coming back down to 3,400. And we'll see how this goes. A longer term view of the possible structure you can see. Yeah, it makes sense that an altcoin rebound is in the cards, and also a general rebound, but it's not based on historical patterns. It's just based on a hunch. Now, one thing that I did is a study of those historical patterns. So I took my trading plan, the simple trading plan, where I'm looking for the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, the break of the recent downtrend, and the moving average crossover. So we got things like BitShares, where when we look back in March of 2017, we can see where the buy signal was and how the market pumped, came back, pumped and came back, but there was never a get out signal in my trading plan until after here. And with an entry on March 23rd and an exit on July 7th, there was 2,400% gain. And I went through all of the markets and studied them the same way. Dogecoin, so we could see the entry was on March 17th and the exit was on June 26th. And there was a 450% gain. And I went through them all. Library credits, Lisk, again, March 17th. Again and again, as I went through this study, many of the altcoins had the very same entry date as my trading signals crossed over. So at 100, the entry was at 118 and the exit was at 10 times greater, so 750% gain, though there was a warning in this trading signal here where the moving averages were right on top of each other. So it may have kicked me out of the trade there if I was actually trading it. This is just going over historical. So I did that March to July of 2017, and I studied all of the markets to show where the great trades were and how did they rank up against my trading signal, and how would I have traded if I had traded this plan all the way through to this end. This is another 3,000% gain, and the pattern is there, the same pattern all the way along. Then we had December 2017 to January 18, where it was another big move, but it wasn't nearly as great percentage gains. So Lisk went up 234% instead of 755%. And again, I'm using that same moving average crossover, looking for the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and then that moving average crossover as the exit. And one way to change this is to use the 4-hour bars as the moving average crossover exit, and it usually gets you better profits. But it also gets you jumping in and out more often as the market is going up, so it's a tough one to call. Stepping back from the market and giving it time to retrace properly and give it time for that really big bull market, I like this using the 12-hour bars better. So then I went through April to May of 2018, where we saw a little bit of a run. And for my own trading system, many times there was a little bit of a loss, because we'll go back to Lisk again. It gave me the bottom formation. It gave me the moving average crossover as it broke out, but then it crossed back over the other way and continued on the downtrend. So this is a fake out breakout, basically, a consolidation within the longer downtrend. And so I studied those three trending markets that I was showing just a minute ago with that Bitcoin price. Really studied it in depth so that I get that pattern, highlighted in my mind, so that now as I'm looking at the patterns as they're coming up in 2018 right now, I want to be able to recognize exactly when all the markets are taking off. So even though looking at 2014 sideways and then down most likely, alts are behaving similar to 2014-15. So my big study here only does the three from 2017-18 and another one 2018. And I didn't go back to study the markets further back than that to see if there was a big run up. I know that I started trading in 2015, and I started off in the July of 2015. I had $500. I had started out with $15 and I worked it up to $500 by the summer of 2015. And then by the summer of 2016, I had run that up to $5,000 from the 500. And then into January of 2017, I had about $10,000. And that ran up to over $100,000 by July of 2017. And then by January or December of 2018, that 100,000 had turned into 500,000. So I really did fantastic on both of these bull runs. And I don't know, I didn't trade very much in the April-May range. I was looking for a much bigger takeoff from there. So I didn't go back to the 2014-15 details. I think that the markets have so much more market cap and so much more in it now. Many more institutional players in it. It's much better regulated. The pump and dump groups are really running for the hills now, and I think a lot of them that were operating are going to be spending time in jail. And so I'm looking for that longer term 18-month uptrend in the markets, not just a run up for a few months and then a crash back down, but a real steady uptrend in the markets. And so I'm watching like a crazy man to see when that entry actually turns up. So if you've got any other Bitcoin prices you'd like me to go over, I'll check that out. If you've got any cryptocurrencies you'd like me to check out, I'll also go and check those out. Let's go and take a look at what's going on in BitMEX right now and zoom into the 5-minute bars. Still nothing definitive, but it's not looking stronger. Still showing lower lows, and the little bit of a flurry back up here hasn't been enough to punch it to new highs. And we really need to see new highs coming out of this. So overall, I'm wanting to be a bull, but having to be a bear just by watching this and checking these things out. Good to chat with you too, Mark, and I will see you next time. Thanks again for stopping in. I'm going to be signing off this live stream as well. I think I've gone through as much as I can here, shared all the information I can, and I appreciate everybody's input here. Very helpful. This is what I do this for. I learn, and hopefully you learn too. So that's it for this time. I will be sending out an email when I do the next one. Thanks again, and all the best.